this computer. So someone, while I'm just sharing the screen, could someone remember the connection that we made between the 6th chapter and the 7th chapter? Not an easy question, but some of you might have it. Well, some of you, there's only...
Devotee is the best, so we will learn who is devotee in the 7th chapter.
Say that. Can you say that again? I didn't quite understand.
In the end of the 6th chapter, it was told that the devotee is the best yogi. So now we will learn who is devotee.
Yeah, thank you, Mavludu. Yes, correct. Yeah, it was a connection to the last verse. Yogina apishavesha makatenta atmana shadavam bhajate yomam isame yukatamomataha. And of all yogis, the one who abides in me and renders service to me. So the bhakti yogi is called the highest. Wow. Yep. So that was the end of the 6th chapter. And then Krishna kind of spontaneously starts to glorify the process of bhakti and what it entails. Yeah. So then we had, how the first verse is very nice. Let's just read that again. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "No, here, Tat Shrinu, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me." So that full consciousness of me is bhakti. All right. And specifically with the characteristics of a Shakti, with the mind being attached to Krishna, then one can know him full, free from any doubts. All right. And then the next verse, I shall now declare to you unto full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. So phenomenal, it just means, anyone remember what phenomenal means? Is referring to? It's an old word that's used actually in context. But
it's referring to...
Go on, Mavalavanga.
Sorry, it's referring to the material world. It's referring to the material world.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, phenomenal. And luminous, spiritual. Yeah, because there is nothing else outside of those two designations, spiritual and material. Yeah. So Krishna says, "I shall now declare unto you in fullest knowledge, both material and spiritual." So interesting what the material will be. That's in text 4. Yeah. And nothing further shall remain for you to know. So no need for a PhD in any other subject apart from this. All right. Okay, we're all ready? Raring to go? Did I share the screen already? I did. Yeah, I've got it shared there. Okay. So, Harika, yes.
Yes, Murali, can you please have a look at the chat? I posted the message there.
Okay, I'm looking at it now. Wow, that's wonderful. Congratulations. Mother Katarina will be taking initiation from His Grace Mahatma Prabhu next week. Right.
No, it's this week on Thursday.
On Thursday, sorry, Thursday, yeah. Is that
yes.
Is that what I saw advertised as being online in the temple?
Well, it was supposed to be in the temple, but then I decided it's too stressful for me. I want to have it at home, so it's still gonna be online, but but not at the temple.
Okay, wonderful. So you have a new name, and
thank you.
Your spiritual life will begin in earnest, although it's no doubt started before already, but now you have the blessings of Mahatma Prabhu. Jai, thank you for that news. Okay, there's a few people waiting outside the front door. Better let them in. Hare Krishna, it's a bit cold outside. Let's let them in. Okay, welcome Mother Rajkishore and Mother Gita. And we have 2 Mother Lavangas. Hare Krishna. Okay, I keep on saying it, but let's do it. Let's start. Okay, so we need a reader for find the verse. Text 4. Here it is here. So just remember, we're having a go at reading the Sanskrit. Don't worry if you make a mess of it. That's fine. Just do your best. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 devotees with us.
Can I read?
Yes, you can. Thank you. Short.
Bhumirapo analo vayu khammanu buddhira evacha ahankara iti amme bhinna prakrutir ashtadha. Translation: Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether are 8 constitute. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Purport: The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakruti, or the energy of the Lord, in his different Purusha incarnations, expansions, as described in Satvat Tantra. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes 3 Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy, known as the Mahat Tattva. The second, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these 3 Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. This material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All activities of the material world are directed by these 3 Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. These Purushas are called incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities, and that the living entities are the Purushas, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. According to Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredients of material manifestations are separated energies of the Lord. Even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalist, is a spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyoti as there are in the Vaikuntha Lokas. And the impersonalist accepts this Brahma Jyoti as the ultimate eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all-pervasive aspect of the Kshirodakshai Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the complete energetic person, and he possesses different separated and internal energies. In the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8, as above mentioned. Out of these, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are called the 5 gigantic creations, or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. But the other 3 items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. Philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am, and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahat Tattva. Therefore, from the 8 separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya atheistic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from the Krishna's energies and are separated from him. But atheistic Sankhya philosophers with a poor fund of knowledge do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of the external energy of Krishna, as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, thank you. One thing we forgot. Nama Om Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamti Namani. Namaste Sarasati Devi Gauravani Vishaline Nevasisha Shunyavhari Pashtatara Satanine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. I thought I'd just read text 3 as well. The translation is quite a well-known verse. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So that was text 3. So to see beyond the prakriti, or to see beyond this material nature and to understand Krishna, it's not generally, it's very rare. But any questions or observations or comments about this, these separated material energies, prakriti, Bhumi apo nalo vayo kama mano pada evacha hankaya ityam me bena prakriti astitaha. This and the next verse are connected, obviously. The next verse speaks about the spiritual energy. Aparyam idastvanyam prakriti vidime param. So what are we trying to do here? Or what's the living entity trying to do?
Move out of material and go into the spiritual.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do. Move out of the material and go into the spirit. But we are, I think another verse describes, we are trying to lord it over. Yeah, we are. Yes. This material energy is called prakriti.
Yes.
So we are known as Purusha. Is that right? No, we are actually prakriti. We are part of the Lord's energy. So he's the Purusha. So it mentions the different Purusha incarnations. So he is the supreme person.
And one thing it says, Paramatma manifestation is also temporary. All pervasive aspect of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So it's temporary. Paramatma manifestation is temporary.
Yeah, I also took a mental note of that when we was reading through. Yeah, it's just to accompany us within the world of matter so that we can function. Yeah, and it describes in chapter 15, text 15, describes the function of the Paramatma. Anyone know that verse, 15:15, or can give a paraphrasing of it?
Yeah, it's I am the source, remembrance and forgetfulness.
Yeah, that's it. I'm the source of Vedic literature. Yeah. Go on.
I can't really think about it now, but I do know it. But
yeah, that's it. In all the Vedas, I am to be known. So yeah, so we are incapable of even remembering our name. Yeah. Let alone making our way in this world by using intelligence. So therefore, so yeah, interesting. Krishna expands. It's an expansion of Krishna. Is situated within our heart as the super soul. But as Raj Kishore took note and pointed out, perhaps we might, it is a temporary manifestation. It is a temporary. So in other words, that means there's no super soul in the spiritual realm. Would that be a correct summarization? Could we say?
I would say, yeah, because the super soul is only allowing activities based on our karma, I think.
Yeah. So how does things function? Yeah. So anyway, he's given us all knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Yeah. Also, another question as well. What does it mean by forgetfulness? What's that? It mean like we forget our keys, or we forget where we put our... I'm referring to 15:15. Sorry, I'm asking you lots of questions today. Hope you don't mind.
Shall I answer this? The remembrance means that if you want to remember Krishna, then he will help you. And if you want to forget about Krishna, he will also help you do that.
Yeah, basically. Because to try and act out the illusion of being separated from Krishna, or trying to enjoy ourselves separate from Krishna, we have to be in illusion. So therefore, Krishna creates his Mahamaya to put this into illusion. Yeah. So yeah, there's the so things function. How can we then things function in the spiritual realm by who's to understand exactly how it happened or how it works, but it's all by the internal energy. So yeah, the devotees of Krishna, they have thoughts, they have feelings, they have memories, but that's coming spontaneously by the internal energy of the Lord. There's no indwelling super soul. It's difficult to really fully appreciate. Yeah, so let's just look at the Purusha incarnations. We have the first one is Mahavishnu. It's amazing that of all these years of reading Srila Prabhupada's books and studying, I always forget these three. I always forget which one's first, which one's second. So I'm just reminding myself again. So the first one is Mahavishnu. All right. So he creates the material energy known as Mahatattva. Anyone can say what the Mahatattva is? Any more detail in that?
It's where Mahavishnu resides, which is between the spiritual world and material world, and it's called Virja River.
Yeah, well, no, yes, but not exactly what we're looking for here. The Mahatattva is the manifestation of the material energy in a dormant stage. It's like dormant, Mahatattva. And then the second, then the Lord manifests as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and enters into the universe. And then the Mahatattva is then created into different universes. So Garbhodakshaya. So he's on the Garbhodakshaya ocean. Yeah. Yeah, see, so the Mahavishnu. So it's very interesting. This is like in a detailed description of creation. It's often a subject of debate, isn't it? Where does creation come from? The Christians have within Christianity, it's a very simple explanation. In the beginning, there was the Word, or something like that. And he created in how many days did the Lord create according to biblical tradition? 5 days, wasn't it? Anyone know? Any Christians out there? No? No, like that.
6 days.
6 days, yeah, a week, yeah. 6 days. Anyway, we have a different conception here. How many days it took to create is not given here, but the details.
Yeah, it was 6, and on the 7th day he rested.
All right, and so like that's why we have Sunday off. We should.
Yeah, it said on the 7th day he rested.
Seventh day he was tired. He was tired, so he rested, put his feet up. But here is a more detailed description is given, and here this is just a summary. This is a really basic summary. It really goes into more detail in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So then from Garbhadakshay Vishnu comes Kishora Dakshay Vishnu. So that, as we mentioned, is the Paramatma. Okay. So here's actually just reading here. So Krishna has summed up the material world by describing its basic elements. It ranges from gross to subtle. So in this verse, all of the material world has been described, just in this one verse. Yeah. And then more could be said here. The material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. How many energies does Krishna have?
Krishna has unlimited energies, but material energies are 8.
Yeah, as we're reading here, he has unlimited. He has limited. There's Krishna is unlimited. So this is known as Sambandha Gyan, what we're reading here now. Knowledge. Yeah. Who are we? Who is Krishna? What's the material world? And what's the relationship between each? Yes. It says, generally one who does not know the science of God assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities. And that the living entities, see this sentence here? I was looking at this earlier. It meant for the enjoyment of and that the living entities are the Purushas. Isn't it? We kind of look at this world like a child looks at a fairground. Isn't it? When you take a young child into a fairground, onto an amusement park, they become very excited. The different ways they can enjoy. So same here to the jiva in forgetfulness of Krishna, automatically looks towards this world with a spirit to lord it over or to enjoy. Yeah. So that means, does that mean we shouldn't enjoy at all? How can we enjoy?
Enjoy serving Krishna, find happiness in his happiness.
Yeah, basically. This is his world. This is his things. This is his stuff. And it's really meant for him. Just like before we eat, then we gather, like today I made some prasadam, and what did I do? I offered it to Krishna. So we offer it to Krishna. So the things of this world we use in Krishna's service, and then we enjoy that has been enjoyed by him. And then we will enjoy, but not in a materialistic sense of the term. We will enjoy our natural function of being servants of Krishna. And we will experience peace and freedom from stress and anxiety. Simple thing. Just by offering your food to Krishna. Yeah. Yeah, we could bring out a few more things here. But Prabhupada, as he does often, Prabhupada preaches against the materialistic, atheistic, he says here, according to Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. What do the atheists say? What is the source of creation?
Nothing.
Nothing. They say we come from nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even the Big Bang, I mean, it all came out of nothing. That's everyone's theory.
Yeah.
Even the Big Bang theory, the Big Bang came out of nowhere.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these atheists, if you listen to what they say, especially those who are so-called learned scientists, it sounds all quite, to some, it may even sound plausible or attractive. But actually, if you really just Prabhupada brought out this simple question, okay, so where did the original elements come from? So if we, are you saying we come from nothing? Anyway, Krishna. Any other things we want to bring out here? Yeah, a few notes here. The first 5 gross elements, this is in this paragraph here. From here. From the first 8 elements, which have just been described, come 24 elements. Yeah, Prabhupada describes that here. And that will be explained in chapter 13 more. Yeah, more will be explained about that. Yeah. Mind, intelligence, and false ego bring the total to 13. The false ego is the cause of the 5 knowledge-acquiring senses and the 5 working senses. That equals 23. Then we add the Mahatattva, 24th, which is the cause of the false ego. And these altogether are called Apara, inferior. Why are they called inferior?
Because they are temporary, they are material and temporary.
Yeah, they're temporary, but mean more because they have no consciousness. Because they lack consciousness. That's the distinction between the inferior and the superior. Yeah, there is no consciousness. Yeah. Just like there's a great clamor of excitement at the moment for this use of A1. Anyone know what A is? AI. Anyone knows what?
AI, yeah.
Yeah.
Chat GBT.
Huh?
Chat GBT. You can ask it anything. It writes essays, it writes songs, it writes poetry.
Yeah, that's it. So someone recently, a question was asked to my Guru Maharaj because it found out that some godbrothers or godsisters had just written a Vyas Puja offering by using AI.
Yeah. And Jana's daughter wrote it with her CV with it, and she said it came out great. They can, because the computer is much more articulate than we are, and it can make, it can make your CV look really good.
Yeah, so this is lately people getting quite excited about it. So in other words, because it functions as the material intelligence, they falsely make the assumption that we must be like that. We must be the same. We are just machines. Yeah. We are just machines. As that is a machine and can function, so we function because we are the same. But no, there's something else. There's something called consciousness. Yeah. Something called consciousness. Yeah, I watched a little documentary on this, a little study on it, and there was a student, and she was using, it's called AI, isn't it? Yeah, artificial intelligence, and to write exam papers, and the teacher was then marking the exam paper, and actually there was quite a few mistakes were in there, so she actually failed and didn't come up to the mark. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Anything else from here? Now my computer's frozen for some reason. I can't change a page.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. For me, actually, the AI is very interesting because recently what I've noticed, there are people posting, for example, songs that are from one singer, but they are posting it in the voice of another singer who, for example, left their body already. And it's so like it's in the beginning, but it's good already. So I was wondering what good can it bring like in the future. But then again, there are a lot of dangers because they find out that it can cause a lot of harm by actually producing fake proofs in the court system and this and that. So it's very dangerous at the same time.
Can you say that last part? Why it's dangerous? What did you hear about that? I didn't quite hear.
No, that I was also reading in the news that they started now producing fake evidence to the courts as well for the court cases and the center, and that it's very dangerous.
Okay, yeah, fake evidence. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to share again the Bhagavad Gita. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, yeah. But who's the creator of AI? It's an intelligence. It's a conscious person, which is progress. Just a computer program. Yeah. But anyway, we are spirit soul. Krishna explains. Yeah. Okay. Now. All right, let's hear about the superior energy, shall we? Any other comments about here? We're all clear? All picked up something from this verse in purple. You heard of Shankya philosophy? We're familiar with that. Third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There's an atheistic Shankya. There's a theistic Shankya. We study the theistic Shankya, which leads one to Krishna. Okay, let's read about the superior energy. All right, so this body basically, Bhumi Apanala Voyo Kama Buddha Evaja, Hankaya Itame, Bina Prakriti Astita. So this body makes up, this is the inferior energy because it's not conscious. Yep. So this is Prakriti. Okay, someone could read text 5. Any readers out there? Okay, I'll jump in. Aparayam idastvanyam prakritim vidime param jiva putam mahabaho yeyadam dayate jagat. So Krishna says, just looking here. Besides these, Almighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting, I just mentioned that, the resources of this material inferior nature. Purple. Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior energy, to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, earth, etc., and subtle mind, etc., are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord. And it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful, as unintelligent men think. The distinction between a living entity and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:87-30 as follows. I'll just read the translation. Quote, O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all-pervading like you, then they would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your Lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails surrender by the living entities to your control, and that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monistic theory that God and the living entities are equal in all respects are equally guided by a faulty and polluted opinion. Okay, any questions so far? Let's just look at this by the go through by paragraph, perhaps. Yes. Again, we're exploiting this inferior energy for different purposes. Okay, let's continue. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. The living entities are his superior energy, because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme. But they are never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle, inferior energy and superior energy, the living entity forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity. But when a living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains a stage called mukti or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of material illusion, thinks, I am matter, and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that the Gita confirms that the living entity... One second. Excuse me, lost my place. I just turning the page. But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains a stage called mukti or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of material illusion, thinks, I am matter, and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respects of God. Therefore, one may conclude that the Gita confirms living entity to be only one of the multi-energies of Krishna. When this energy is freed from material contamination, he becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Okay, so that is the basic synopsis of the whole Krishna conscious philosophy. It's just described here in a very succinct way. Any questions or comments here or observations? So we are superior energy. So why are we prone to be overcome by the inferior energy if we are superior?
We are conditioned.
We're conditioned, that's for sure. But what is,
because we're marginal energy.
Yeah, we're marginal. Yeah. Because we're very small, because we're superior energy, but we get overwhelmed by the external inferior energy. So therefore, we misidentify ourselves as being as being matter, or identify with this body, gross and subtle. So it's because we are infinitesimal, very small, although we are superior, but we become overcome. Yeah. Which is, and that's conditioning. So therefore, we identify with particular bodies we have, and we identify, especially we identify ourselves as being the senses. So then we want to enjoy the sense objects, to try and enjoy the self. But the false concept of the self. Yeah, we're trying to enjoy this body. But we are not this body. So therefore, that's why Prabhupada said here, he said about being happy. What he said here, you see, our real liberation entails the surrender by the living entities to your control. And that surrender will make them happy. Yeah. What's Prabhupada mean here? That in this sentence here, everyone can see I'm just highlighting that sentence. In that constitutional position only can they be controllers.
In the position of a devotee only, they can control. Otherwise, they have to stay under the orders and surrender.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm asking that question because I'm not sure, but I think you're right there, Mother Vajkishore. Yeah, we are very much controlled. Yeah.
Yes, we are controlled, but if we surrender totally and accept everything that Krishna gives, like happiness, unhappiness, all the calamity, then by becoming his devotee, we can hope, oh, I want to do this, and Krishna will allow.
I see. Yeah. In that constitutional position, only being empowered by Krishna. Yeah, go on, Bhagavad Gita.
Sorry, there's a bit there's a bit of sound here. I won't sit here next time because there's music. But I believe that it means just like in meditation, how you control your mind. So if you're able to control those kind of desires, or to act in a certain way, if you're able to completely surrender and actually having that control of you not getting out of that surrendering mode, then you're actually going to be more happy.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think that's how I see the control part.
Yeah, I think you're saying that being a conditioned soul is out of control.
Yeah, I think that when
the senses, one is subject to to the dictate of the senses. So in that sense, they're kicked around like a football by them to the yeah.
And if we control that, and if we're able to control it, then you're more likely to surrender to the good in that way.
Yeah. I think that's more precise. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, in that constitutional position only, then can they be controllers, but not controllers like the Lord himself, obviously, but they can be in control of the self. Yeah. Prabhupada would often say, or he said, if someone thinks they are the controllers or they are free to control, then that is a sign of a madman. We are controlled every moment of our lives, isn't it? We are controlled. If someone thinks they are in control, that's illusion, Just like when you have to use the bathroom, then you have to use the bathroom, isn't it? You haven't got no choice. So we are very much controlled. Yeah. Controlled by, what else are we controlled by? Their senses. What else? So I put you on the spot again. We're controlled, the conditioned souls controlled by the senses.
Sorry, Prabhu, what was the question again?
Yeah, the question might be a bit, we are controlled by what? The conditional controlled by the senses, and also we're controlled and influenced by?
Our desires and material nature.
Desires, are the three modes of material nature. I was thinking. Yeah, we're controlled. the mode of ignorance kind of puts a spell on the conditioned soul, the mode of passion, where one is, thinking they can, in the mode of passion, they think that we can control. But the more you try and control, then the more you become conditioned. So desire, we're controlled by a karma, you could say. Impressions and desires, Mother Lavanga said, come from a previous life. We're controlled by the immediate attraction to the senses. We're controlled by the three modes of material nature. And we're also controlled by time. We're very much subject to time. So we are not free. We are controlled. But the conditioned soul is trying to control, but being more controlled. The fact that we're subject to time. Yes. Hare Krishna. Now let's pick up something here as well. Prabhupada speaks here of the problem here. We're trying to exploit the gross and subtle. So the gross, the bhumi apo nalo vayo, and the subtle inferior matter. That's mind, intelligence, and ego, as far as I can understand. So that causes forgetfulness. We forget our constitutional position. Yeah. And here, Prabhupada's explaining more of what we was just saying. That's because we're influenced by matter. Yeah. And Prabhupada says here, I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. Now, one might not say that sentence exactly, but the way they live their life, it is a purport of this sense, of this sentence. Yeah. What's that? Heard anyone heard this? I want the world and I want it when? Now. You heard that before? I want the world and I want it now. Yeah. I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. So this is the illusion, that the conditioned soul is in. Look into this material world, Okay, so let's read a bit more. Let's have a look at 7.6. Just someone like to read this one. Etat yonini buddhani.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I will read.
Please.
Etat yonini bhutani sarvanityu padaraya aham Krishna jagata prabhava pralayastata. All created beings have their source in these two natures. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. This material body is developed because spirit is present within matter. A child grows gradually to boyhood and then to manhood because that superior energy, spirit soul, is present. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the presence of the supersoul, Vishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine to manifest this gigantic universal form. What did it say before that? Sorry, one of the energies of the Lord?
So I went to...
are originally two energies of the Lord, and consequently the Lord is the original cause of everything. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may be the cause of a big skyscraper, a big factory, or even a big city, but he cannot be the cause of a big universe. The cause of the big universe is the big soul or the super soul. And Krishna, the Supreme, is the cause of both the big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed in the Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanam Chaitanas Chaitananam.
Okay, thank you. I'll just read this a little bit here. This is from Bodhijam Prabhu. It says, the combination of Krishna's two energies makes up everything, both living and non-living in the material world. The two energies are called Kshetra and Kshetragyan, so the knowers of. And then they will be discussed again in chapter 13. The point we are to understand here, however, is that everything ultimately consists of Krishna, because everything is his energy. And the next verse, Krishna will take it as, presents a simile to help Arjuna understand this point. And it's a very nice, one of my favorite verses, next one. As everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Yeah. So everything is Krishna's energy. Yeah. This is also known, when someone perceives that, that is called Brahman realization, where they understand and appreciate the wonder of everything which they see. It is not ordinary, because everything's coming from Krishna. Yeah. It's called Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Everything is manifestation from Krishna. Yeah, everything is the fact, for instance, that that there's pregnancy is quite an amazing phenomena if we think about it. That a living being grows inside another living being. Okay, we just take it for granted, but material science cannot do the same, cannot replicate that just by using matter. It is unable to replicate. They might create a artificial atmosphere, for instance, test tube or things like that, or to call it, yeah. But the fact that the soul itself, is manifest within another, just trying to highlight the phenomena of it, yeah. Just like they can make a computer, but can they also make a male computer and a female computer, which will give birth to another computer? Can they do that? Has anyone heard of that? No. Yeah. Now that would be something if they could do that. If the male computer was left in the room with a female computer, then the next morning, one of the computers is pregnant. A few days, and then gives birth to a baby computer. Yeah. So yeah, and probably this is a basic example. Please try to remember this basic example that you can speak to your friends at work about. If you can open up this type of conversation with them, that within the body or within the car, there's a soul, there's a driver. Yeah. Or yeah. But these days you could get some cars that drive themselves. But ultimately it's been driven by someone who is guiding it. Yeah. So Prabhupada's making a point here. Yeah. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. That's what people generally say. The materialistic philosopher or scientist, that consciousness is a phenomena that is born of matter. Again, the same principle as Prabhupada was countering in the previous verse in purple as well. But Krishna explained very clearly here that he is the source of both. Okay. Any questions or comments here? Anything, any observations? Yes. Yeah, we can cause the living entity can bake a cake or cause a big skyscraper, a big factory, but cannot create a universe. Yeah. All right, now let's just check. We've got 2 minutes left. I don't want to perhaps go to the next one. We can leave the next verse till tomorrow because it's quite an extended. Let's have a look at the purple. Yeah, quite an extended purple. So let's just read the verse. And this is a nice verse to remember. It's a nice example that you can also give for us, when you're trying to explain how this world is held together is by the inconceivable energy of the Lord. Here it says, Mata parataram nanyat kinchit asti tananjayaha mai savam idam protom shutte mana gana iva. Hands up if you know of this verse.
I do.
I do, yeah, Maharaj Kishore. I'm sure others do as well. I'll conquer wealth. There's no truth superior to me. All right. So remember, everything is a manifestation of Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy. So there's nothing superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So mana gana means pearls. Yeah. Everything. Savam idam. Vata paratanam nyananyat kintit asti dananjaya mayam savam idam protam shutte managana iva. Protam means string, I think. Let's have a look. Is strung, yeah, on the thread. So everything, this whole cosmic manifestation is held together by the potency, by the energy of Krishna. Yeah. So we'll pick this up. We'll pick up on this tomorrow, okay? We've got a few seconds, just hit 7. So we'll pause there and please join us tomorrow and we'll continue with this 7th chapter. Okay, thank you for joining us, everyone. And tune in tomorrow. And we probably read a couple of verses tomorrow, 3 or 4 verses like that. Okay, thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.